Did anything hold you back from applying for benefits? I think the stereotype that people have about benefit claimants, that that they're all scroungers and they're lazy, and I was frightened that people would think that about me. But benefits are just there to help people when they're in need. I left my job March 2020, just before the pandemic, and I left because I was suffering from really bad mental health problems. I'd recently been diagnosed with bipolar disorder. There was no way that I was going to be getting a job anytime soon. Because I have anxiety, it affected the process. It's a very daunting process, especially if you haven't been through it before. It kind of feels like you're being put on trial for something that is so severe to you, and having to prove it to someone else to get a benefit. It's very disheartening. People would say, just talk about how you are on your worst day. And that was a really, really helpful bit of advice.
How important was peer support for you when you applied for benefits?
I think probably the most important person for me at the start was my GP. And she was the first one to sort of say about, oh, have you looked at benefits and things like that. I started off really just having panic attacks, but they were quite severe, and they were also at work. I tried to get up to go to work one morning and that was it. I couldn't, basically. Literally my body stopped me. It sort of said, if you're not listening, I will take action for you. I felt very much like a burden to my wife because she was doing all the earning, so I just felt terrible. It is a stressful process. The Department for Work and Pensions, although things, sort of advertising, all those sorts of things will be like they're there to help and they're there to support you, they're not really. They're just there to process you.
What do you wish you had known before you applied for benefits?
What I would say is not everybody is lazy because they don't work. Sometimes people have circumstances which can become a barrier for employment. So I could never visualize in my head that I would be unemployed. I couldn't cope in caring for my mom and holding on to a full-time employment. I was trying to tear myself in two places, and also I was going through some mental health difficulties myself. I felt I lost all identities, which makes you feel very low self-esteem, which then affects you even more depressed because you don't have anything to feel good about. The skill set I have as a carer are just equally important as having a full-time job, and just as equally hard work as a full-time job. So I started to kind of embrace my new title.
What advice would you give to someone thinking of applying for benefits? Do it. It's there to help you.
Do not feel bad for claiming benefits that you're entitled to.
Do your homework. There's organisations out there like Citizens Advice that can, sit you down and really talk you through the steps.